Jessica Radcliffe had always been a woman of deep curiosity, someone who believed that the mysteries of nature carried lessons for every human being. Born and raised in a quiet town in Oregon, she was the kind of person who thrived in adventure. Friends often said she lived her life as if every moment were her last. She traveled widely, explored forests, climbed mountains, and especially loved the sea. The ocean, to Jessica, wasn't just water. It was a universe. She admired dolphins in particular, considering them the guardians of the deep. To her, dolphins were intelligent, compassionate creatures who had rescued humans countless times. Never in her wildest dreams did she imagine that an encounter with one would become the final chapter of her life. In June of that fateful year, Jessica and her close friends planned a trip to Key Largo, Florida. It was supposed to be a celebration. Jessica had just completed her degree in marine biology, and she wanted to mark the milestone with something meaningful. The trip wasn't about parties or nightlife. It was about connecting with the ocean she had studied for years. Her best friend, Amanda Lawson, remembered Jessica's words before they boarded the flight. "This is going to be unforgettable. I want to feel closer to the ocean than ever before." Key Largo was radiant that summer. The waters shimmered like liquid glass, the air carried hints of salt and sun, and the locals welcomed the tourists with warmth. On their third day, Jessica insisted on booking a dolphin swim experience. She wanted to not only see dolphins from a distance, but also interact with them directly. Amanda hesitated. She knew Jessica was fearless, but she also knew wild animals could be unpredictable. Jessica, however, laughed off her concerns. "Amanda," she said with her signature smile, "dolphins are practically humans in the water. I'll be fine." The dolphin swim program was organized by a well-reviewed center just outside the main tourist strip. Families visited it regularly. Children squealed with joy when dolphins splashed nearby, and instructors boasted about the safety protocols. But beneath the polished image of fun and family bonding, there were whispers. Local fishermen spoke of dolphins growing more aggressive in the wild. Tour guides quietly mentioned that overexposure to human interaction was changing the animal's behavior. Jessica didn't hear these warnings, or perhaps she chose not to listen. Her mind was fixed on the experience. On the morning of the swim, Jessica woke early. The sun rose golden over the horizon, painting the sky in hues of orange and pink. She packed her swimsuit, tied her hair into a ponytail, and recorded a short video on her phone, saying, "Today is the day I swim with dolphins. I've been waiting for this all my life. Let's do it." That video, later recovered by her family, became a haunting memory, the last piece of her excitement captured forever. When she arrived at the center with Amanda, the atmosphere was lively. Children were laughing, parents snapping photos, and trainers ushering groups toward the lagoon. Jessica signed the waiver, put on her life jacket, and joined the briefing. The trainers explained the basics: no sudden movements, don't touch the dolphin's face, stay calm, and follow the guide's instructions. It all sounded simple. Jessica, ever the optimist, grinned and gave Amanda a reassuring wink. Once in the water, Jessica felt a surge of joy. The lagoon was cool and clear, and within minutes, 2 dolphins approached. Their sleek bodies glided gracefully, their dorsal fins slicing through the water. The trainer introduced them as Luna and Echo, both adult dolphins who had been part of the program for years. The crowd clapped as Luna performed a leap, splashing everyone nearby. Jessica clapped too, her eyes shining with delight. But as the session continued, something seemed off. Echo, the larger of the 2 dolphins, appeared restless. Instead of following commands smoothly, he swam in tight circles, making sudden, sharp movements. The trainer tried to distract him with fish, but Echo ignored it, his gaze fixed on the group of swimmers. Jessica noticed, but she mistook it for playfulness. She even reached out, touching the water near him, whispering, "Hey, it's okay." What happened next unfolded so quickly, and yet in the retelling, every second feels stretched into eternity. Echo darted toward Jessica, brushing past her with surprising force. She gasped, startled but not frightened, still thinking it was harmless. The trainer blew a whistle, signaling the dolphin to back away. But Echo didn't retreat. Instead, he turned sharply and rammed into Jessica's side. The impact knocked the air out of her lungs, sending her under the water. Panic rippled through the lagoon. Amanda screamed her name, while the trainer rushed in, shouting for everyone to stay calm. Jessica resurfaced, coughing and gasping, trying to regain her balance. She was shaken but still conscious. "I'm okay," she tried to say, though her voice trembled. But Echo wasn't done. The dolphin circled again, this time striking her with even greater force. Jessica cried out, clutching her ribs, her face twisting in pain. The water churned around her as chaos erupted. The trainers leaped into action, blowing whistles, slapping the water, and trying to redirect the dolphin. But Echo seemed fixated. Witnesses later recalled the chilling sight, the dolphin's powerful body moving with unnatural aggression, almost as if years of captivity had built up into this single explosive moment. Jessica tried to swim toward the edge, but Echo struck again, pulling her under. Amanda, desperate, tried to reach her, but the trainers held her back, fearing more harm. For what felt like hours, but was only minutes, the lagoon became a scene of confusion and horror. Jessica struggled, resurfaced, then disappeared again. Her arms flailed, her desperate gasps echoing in the humid air. The trainers fought to control the dolphin, but their whistles and gestures had lost authority. Finally, two rescue staff dove in, managing to push Echo away long enough to pull Jessica to the dock. She was limp, her lips pale, and her breath shallow. They laid her on the wooden boards, working frantically to revive her. Amanda fell to her knees, sobbing uncontrollably, clutching her friend's hand. The trainers performed CPR, shouting her name, urging her to breathe. For a brief moment, Jessica's chest rose. Hope flickered in Amanda's eyes. But then it stopped. Despite every attempt, Jessica Radcliffe's life slipped away in those final moments. The official reports later described her death as a result of traumatic injuries and drowning. But to Amanda and everyone who loved Jessica, the words felt hollow. They knew she had gone to the lagoon full of joy and wonder, only to be betrayed by the very creatures she admired. The aftermath was a storm. News outlets swarmed Key Largo, broadcasting headlines about the tragedy. The Dolphin Center closed temporarily, facing investigations. Animal rights groups pointed to the dangers of keeping wild creatures in captivity, arguing that their natural instincts cannot be suppressed indefinitely. Experts appeared on television, explaining that dolphins, while intelligent, can also be unpredictable and aggressive. What had been marketed as family fun now stood revealed as a potential danger. Amanda, broken but determined, became the voice for Jessica's story. She gave interviews, holding up Jessica's final video, reminding people that her friend had been full of life just